my girl, Tika. Sit. Wait. You're too close. You wanna go hiking? Wanna go hiking? Wanna go hiking? No. You're too close. What are you doing? Oh, you wanna sit next to me? All right, today is November 7th, and we've had snow here for so long now, it's getting ridiculous, and it's cold right now. I'm just putting the garbage out. Let me show you as I walk back towards the house what it looks like. Look at that. Actually, some of it's pretty. Something most of you guys don't know, and it'll be for another story, but I quit my job a couple of weeks ago. Got fed up with the incompetency at work, so incompetence. So, but I'll talk about that later, which means I have now a lot of time. I'm going to decompress. I'm not ready to go back to work right away. I have my own company, so I can do contract work for other people, other organizations. But so now I'm going to decompress, and I'm going hiking again this weekend. Right now, the forecast for the weekend is -15 with overnights of -24 Celsius. So that's getting pretty cold. And seen a lot of videos from the US of people posting their how I prepare for the cold kind of videos. Well, let me, sorry, no offense, but cold in some of the Midwest states compared to being in the Rocky Mountains here in Alberta, where it's going to be -25, is a big difference. But anyways, it's not a competition. So I'll show you some of the stuff that I do to get prepared. But right now I'm heading downtown, going to Evan's restaurant market on 17th. Going to go have lunch and bring in some maps, because we haven't decided where we're going to go this weekend. The general area that Evan and I are heading off to is Kananaskis country, south of Calgary, and you can see today is November 8th, a relatively nice day. It's 11 outside. We're kind of going through a Chinook. A positive Chinook that's bringing in warm weather, and then it's going to bring in cold. So we're leaving on Sunday. So we're going to be in snow and -10 with an overnight temperature of -14 Celsius. And then Monday, Tuesday will be warming up. Actually, it looks like we might even get rain on the way out on Tuesday. Chance of showers, hopefully not. So that's the weather forecast. All right, time to let you guys into the secret room. Oh, let me turn on this light. I'll put some better light. So this is a room in my basement. Those are all packs. Those are tents and mattresses and other things. Miscellaneous gear. There's my pack. The little items that I need. And up here are actually there's another one in there. There's the brown one. There's 6 sleeping bags hanging up there. There's a mat, or my pack raft. So okay, so the pack, the bear spray will stay on here. Now let's just empty it. Usually it's packed and ready to go, but right now let's empty the pack. Okay, so first thing that goes in the bottom is, for me, is my cook set. So I'm bringing a titanium pot and spoon and my usual stuff. So a small cook set. So you've all seen the cook set before. Now I bring a saw. Saw is super important for firewood, so we're going somewhere where we're allowed fires. I got 3 zip cubes, so I'm just gonna replenish my cubes. My cubes don't weigh that much. I can start a fire with half a cube, but they weigh grams each, so no big deal. So I'm gonna throw that in there. Now, on the last trip, I used
a lot of fuel. Actually, this is an old, actually I shouldn't say that, this is a can I've had on a few trips, so I'm going to put that one on the shelf, and I'm going to grab a brand new fresh can of fuel. So in the bottom I got my cook set, my saw, and I'm going to throw in my my Outdoor Vitals 0 Celsius 30 Fahrenheit pack, or sleeping bag. So that goes in there. Real quick. And then should have untangled this earlier. Okay, so the 0 Celsius bag is in there, and the cook set, and I'm just going to throw my mug in there. So all I use for eating is my mug. Now, because it's going to be cold, I'm bringing a second down sleeping bag. This one is a small, this one is only rated for this is a positive temperature rated bag. This bag is rated for, I believe, 4 degrees Celsius. Actually, it says right here on the bag. Yeah, 4 degrees Celsius. So that's a 40 Fahrenheit. So I will either put this one inside the other one or use it sort of as a quilt. I'll open it up on top of myself. You saw from the forecast that there's only one day that's going to be really, really cold, and that's the Sunday night. The other days are, by my standard, relatively cool. So I will, and this is a North Face sleeping bag, so I will stuff that as well. Now, and that goes like this. Put the 2 crosses over and compress. Compressing is nice because it just makes a little bit more room, but I'm taking my big pack here. So you've seen on the shelf up there, I got 60-liter packs, 50-liter packs. I got every size pack, but I just love this this Bora. So this is a second pack, or a second sleeping bag, so that can go in here. Nothing else in there. Okay. Now, the second part of my sleep system is, well, a couple of pieces. First of all, my thermarest. So this is a Neo Air long thermarest. It's about a 2-inch thermarest. So I'm gonna bring my thermarest, but if you would just put the thermarest on the ground, it gets so cold, it keeps absorbing, you know, the ground is going to be frozen. So the ground has a lot of heat that it will give up. And so so the thermarest will barely stay inflated because it's all the ground will cool the thermarest and it'll tend to collapse. So what I'll do is I put this foam, or this foamy, underneath. So I put the tent down, then I will put the foamy inside the tent, and then the thermarest goes on top. You'll see this in the video that'll get published after. So the foamy, the thermarest, and then the 2 sleeping bags. But because it's winter, I'm also going to do an extra little hack. I will bring an emergency blanket. So one of these made of mylar reflective, so that'll go underneath the foamy, and that'll reflect a little bit of additional heat. And it can be used for other things, so I'm just going to throw that in here for now. Now, and then the last part of my sleep system is my inflatable pillow, which I put in the bag. Now, normally I bring a one-man tent. This year I've been bringing this Marmot one-man tent. But because we couldn't, last weekend the ground was frozen and we couldn't drive the stakes into the ground. And so this Marmot is not very good for that because it needs some good staking. It's not self-standing, whereas this North Face is self-standing. But I'm going to take out the tent pegs because I don't need the tent pegs. The only thing I need out of here is the repair tube in case I break a pole. So I'm going to put that in there. But I'm bringing my two-man tent because it gives me a little more space for all the stuff. It's a little more comfort, and it's self-standing. So that goes in there. Actually, what I just threw out, and I'm going to throw it back in, is a foamy to sit on. So now I got my tent, I got my thermarest, my foam mattress, my tent. It's all good. My 2 sleeping bags. So I'm set for sleeping. Now, because we might be in the wind, and we're not going that far, I'm going to bring a tarp. So I can set up the tarp around the fire to keep the wind away from us, and it can be used for other things. So I'm bringing the tarp that I put in there. First aid kit. I always bring a first aid kit. Now, when I check in the inside pouch, I'm low on toilet paper, so I'm gonna replenish the toilet paper, and I'm gonna take this out. So this is my my water filter, and I am not gonna bring a water filter because in all likelihood we're gonna melt water. We're not gonna have access to a lot of flowing water, so we're gonna chip away and melt water, which I'll show you another trick because I'm anticipating doing that. But this will become virtually useless, and if I do use it and I let it freeze, you damage the filter. So the filter is going to stay home. Now, while I have this bin out here, I'm going to take out a few things. I'm going to bring gaiters, one pair of gaiters. I'm going to bring this lantern. Now, I'm not going to pack it. I'm going to leave it in the car. I'll make a decision at the trailhead whether I bring it or not. But this is a Yuko lantern. It's just it's a candle, but it's amazing how much heat one candle inside the tent will give off. But it also has a secondary problem, which is the product of combustion is water and carbon dioxide, and the water will, if the tent's not properly ventilated, the water will condense on the ceiling of the tent. So I'll bring it. Evan was interested in seeing it, so I will bring it. And what the heck is that? Oh, that's. I'm gonna bring these micro crampons. In case the trail is hard packed, these are super handy. I'll demonstrate them on the trail, but they slip over your boot, and they're very handy. But we are also bringing snowshoes. I'll show you that in a minute. So that's all I need out of here. Now, a headlamp is a very important piece because we are quite a bit north here, and so sunrise is not until about 8 o'clock. Actually, we're in daylight saving times, and then sunset is pretty early. So, you know, we're close to we're close to the winter, whatever it is, solstice or equinox, or we're close to the moment where days are we're getting close to the shortest day of the year. So we will have less than 12 hours of daylight. So a very good headlamp is critical for around camp, in case we have to walk in the dark, whatnot. So I'm bringing the headlamp. Now, if I look in there, that's it. Now, something unique to winter, I'm not going to bring this shovel because it's not that deep where we're going, but I'm going to bring this neat little device. I'm going to bring, this is called a snow claw, and it allows me to quickly just clear the tent pad, the area where I'm going to put the tent, and you know, I can clear that quickly. So I'm just bringing this because it's only a couple of ounces versus, you know, probably 1.5 pounds for the shovel, and this can fit anywhere easily. Actually, this can go anywhere. This can even go here. Perfect. And then I'll be wearing these gloves, but in my bag, bringing fleece pants for at night. This is what I'll be sleeping in. And then in there is an additional pair of socks and little fleece gloves for sleeping at night. And then I have all my other clothing that I'll be wearing. I'll show that. You'll see that in the video. So this is just a quick. Oh, and here's something else I'll be bringing. My puffy jacket. I'll talk more on the trail about the clothing itself, but for sure I'm bringing this puffy jacket. While we're hiking during the day, I will be wearing a Gore-Tex jacket, and I'll be wearing several layers of clothes. I'll talk about the clothes when I'll get dressed in the clothes, and I'll talk about the clothes after.
Here's a quick hack I wanted to talk about. I'm bringing, you know, a half a dozen coffee filters that I'll bring in a Ziploc bag. And the reason these coffee filters are handy is because we're going to be melting snow and ice, likely snow. It's, you know, you just fill up your pot with snow and then you melt it on the fire. But then the snow is full of dirt and pine needles and stuff like that. So you pour the water through a filter into your Nalgene bottle just to filter it out. And the last piece, whoops, is my MSR snowshoes. And because I'm bringing snowshoes, I have to choose. Normally I bring one of these collapsible poles, but this time I'm going to bring these collapsible poles with the baskets and bring a spare basket because we're walking on snow, so I need the baskets. All right, I just spent a few minutes putting together this video, and as I was looking at the footage, I realized I went through it really, really quickly, but it's just a quick overview. Like I said, tomorrow morning I'm leaving with my buddy Chef Evan. We're going on a 3-day overnight trip, so we got two nights in the bush. The first one on the forecast will be very, very cold, but I'll make an effort while we're hiking for the next video to document, you know, the challenges of hiking in winter, the layering of clothing, how we stay warm, the routine around camp, how we keep stuff from freezing. You saw a little bit of that in the last video I posted when we went to Patan Falls. And, you know, after I publish this video, next week I'll publish the trip video from this weekend's hike, and you can see more stuff there on the challenges of winter hiking. Anyways, it was quick and rushed, but I hope you got something out of it. Thanks everyone, and like I always say, get off the beaten path.